So unfiltered discussions. You got Nash in the building.
Got Ash in the building.
Today, let's see. Do you feel like once someone has children or a child, do you feel like marriage is an obligation? Why or not?
No, I don't feel like marriage is an obligation, but I think it's more so tied to the individual and how they were raised. A lot of the times people might feel like they're obligated based on their upbringing. There might be a tradition like, you know what, she's pregnant now, let me go ahead and, make sure I make her my wife or whatever. So I don't think that is an obligation because at the end of the day, certain people may not be for each other regardless of whether you put marriage into place or not. You know what I'm saying? Marriage doesn't solidify, the situation. Like sometimes it could be a broken situation, and just because a baby come into play doesn't mean that things are going to be better. Although we look at baby as joy and, togetherness and bringing closeness, but people fail to realize when a baby come into play and the relationship is already toxic or whatever is going on, and then you say, oh, I'm a married, no, that's not going to really fix or do anything, right? Also, people fail to realize when you bring a baby on board and the relationship is not where it's supposed to be and it's in a broken state and it's not all together, all a baby is going to do is intensify whatever's going on, right? So it doesn't really necessarily fix anything, more to say, and a lot of the times when you have children, it kind of make it an eye opener. You open your eyes up a little more and you start seeing things that you would have not normally seen in the relationship without the child. So there are things like that come in the role.
Interesting. It's crazy because to me, marriage and children can go into so many categories, right? It could be based off religion. It could be based off the way you was raised. It could just be based off that this is morally the right thing to do, right? But so often it feel like so many people have kids first, right? And then be like, Dad, well, I did get her pregnant. And that seemed like so like ancient, like so back in the day though, right? You got that girl pregnant, you better marry that girl, right? And like you said, yes, a lot of people relationships are already in turmoil, and then it's like, but then it's easy to say, oh, our marriage, and if they do end up getting married, it's easy to say, oh, our marriage didn't work because as soon as the baby came, baby changes things, right? But no, let's peel back everything that was really transpiring before the baby was even thought of, right? And yes, sometimes do kids open your eyes up to people? Yeah, because you see how selfish they are. What they choose to do, where is their priority list at when it comes to certain things, because the kids don't ask to be here, right? And you really gotta, change your whole life around to accommodate the child, not to accommodate you. And that's what a lot of people go wrong at. They always about me, me, me. No, it's no longer about you, you, you. It's that little person right there that's running the show. And a lot of people can't do that, right? So it's more stresses in a relationship. And then to add marriage on, marriage is supposed to be a happy time. It's supposed to be, yes, it has its ups and downs and things like that. But are people built for that? A lot of people are not even built for a regular relationship, let alone a marriage. So it's easy to say, this is why. Point the finger as to why, not the individuals, but to reasons as to why things didn't work. So I don't know. It's kind of like a gift and a curse, to be honest, right? Well, no, nothing. You get to bring everything to the table, right? Discuss what y'all want to do when you have children. What kind of mom would you want to be? What kind of dad would you want to be? Financially, what does this look like for us? You know what I mean? What's the deal breaker here, right? Those kind of conversations are not being had, right? A lot of people are just having reckless sex. Yes, I mean, a lot of us, no, this real talk, like, so you just having sex and it, not thinking that it's consequences behind that, whether it's a baby or STD, whatever, it's consequences or attachments, you know what I mean? Oh, why are you being weird to me? She's going to be acting like that at your doorstep, or maybe he. You never know who's going to be acting like that at the doorstep. But no, those are the things that bring on once a physical is involved, right? So it's like a lot of people don't really like factor everything in. In the moment, they want to feel that instant gratification that sex brings, right? Not realizing that you don't even know what you're opening up to yourself once you do that, right? But I just feel like from a religious standpoint, that yes, a lot of women are getting married before they have children, right? That's one of the things that, and before they have sex, and that's one of the benefits. Now, do I feel like a lot of people are, you know what, I'm not even going to say that because I don't know what they're doing. Because I don't want to say that they're using that just to be a wife, right? So I won't even speak on it because I really don't know if that's true or if that's just a myth. I really don't know what they're doing at the end of the day. But, I mean, honestly, if I can be a certain religion and I could become a wife and I could be doing this and that, you know what I mean? Why not, right? Some people say why not because some people really, really want to be married. So they will go to any lengths to do so, right?
But a lot of the times the women should be held accountable as well on the light of the marriage piece too. You know what I'm saying? Just because they both of the times they both knew what they were doing, right? So just to throw marriage out there doesn't mean that it has to be end all be all. You know, these people don't even know each other. You know, and then for you to have a child, it is a whole different ball game at the end of the day. You don't even know, like, well, I'm gonna say for me, you don't even think that you don't even take time to really think that, oh dang, I want to be with this person. I want this type. I want this person to be this type of individual. I want somebody that's this, that, you know. And then once you have your child, you're like, hey, like, this is everything this is the opposite of what I was looking for real. You know. And people change over time. So a lot of the times people just grow apart, part ways, stuff like that. At the end of the day, when it comes to that, but the obligation of a marriage is not. Some people will say they're married just for a title when they don't.
All day long.
When you can't place marriage just as being a title, is a lot of different things with marriage. Marriage holds value. So when you're marrying somebody, it should be value and morals held. It should be held to a high standard. Absolutely. Versus just making it, oh well, might as well.
Yeah,
as if that marriage is a big deal, you know.
Absolutely.
And for some it may not be, but marriage is a big deal. And when you're getting into marriage with somebody, you're both you're blending families together, right? So you're gonna be this person family, that person family, you know. And you know, marriage should be something that's happy, not just being an obligation. It should be something that both parties go into. No, it's just a sum of obligation. You know?
Absolutely. You know, when it comes down to, I want to touch on the piece where you said whose response, like the accountability piece and responsibility as far as marriage. You said it like it falls on a man and, you know, not so much the woman. When you say that, what did you mean by that?
What, as far as,
like,
I mean that in the part of pregnancy. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because it is more so like soon as the male get the woman pregnant, is always the obligation that the male should marry the female based off of pregnancy. I didn't mean it no other way.
Okay, no, I was just thanks for that clarity because I was just wondering like, dang, like, not accountable, the woman not accountable. But you know what? And like I said, that goes back to way back in the day when men are obligated to be providers. And honestly, I really do feel like in certain instances that men should be obligated to, propose not because of the child, right?
No.
But because it does, if there's somebody, how many women get played with on a daily basis, right?
All day.
It's so many mixed signals, it's so many of this and it's so many of that, right? But where does it come a time as a woman or as a man to say, you know what, I'm gonna exit this. This is not for me. Vice versa, keep sticking around, hurting, cheating. You know what I mean? Dragging them along until you find what you really are looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do believe at some point in time, I think everybody know who they would marry and who they wouldn't marry.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it takes for you to go through a certain situation, and now it's like all the light bulbs is off. You know what? This is my wife. This is my husband, right? Because a lot of us been through things, so we really need that sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not in a sign in a way, because you can literally see somebody, whether they're selfish, what kind of individual that you're really dealing with. What are the characteristics that this individual hold to know whether or not that was somebody that you would want to spend a lifetime with, right? Some people base it off of financial status. Some people base it off so many different things, and that's like to each his own thing as to why you would think this is the person that's worthy of being married to. But a lot of people, I want to say maybe even now, but back when we were growing up, a lot of people held it together because it what society thought, what the family was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we gotta still stay married, even though we over there ripping each other head off every night, belittling and doing whatever it is that we can do to each other. But our kids, we gotta make our kids think that we're still together. This is how it's, and that's where the dysfunction comes at. And when you have a household of kids that's watching it, right? They're like, oh, you're supposed to curse out your husband. Oh, daddy do this, and only mommy's supposed to do this, right? So, or mommy do everything, and daddy don't do nothing. So they go take that into their household, right? Mm-hmm. They go searching for that when it's time for them to go out and get their significant other and things like that. Not knowing that, like you said, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And then where do you draw the line? And that's for any man or a woman when you say dad, or like when you say, oh, you can get the ring because you stuck around. Even through all my BS, you still stuck around.
The sympathy ring.
Here you go, right? And it's like, dang, no, like, you gotta be able to feel it. Like, yes, my husband gotta be my best friend at the end of the day, right? Because when the world is beating me down and I come home, I need to call you up in the midst of it. And once I get in the house, all of that weight is up off my shoulders at the end of the day. And vice versa, because it's not a one-sided thing. And that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued at. So oftentimes women try to be everything for the man, but what does the man do for you, right? You got to be making sure that your cup is being filled too, and that you're not just keep pouring and pouring, and then you have nothing left to give, right? Not even to yourself, not to your husband, not to your children, not to anybody, right? So it's extremely important to know who you're dealing with. To me, I like storms, right? And I always say it because I need to know that you can weather this stuff with me. I need to know that if it all goes down, where do you stand at? Where do you stand at? Yes, of course, a majority of our time together need to be happy, but when real life show up, where you at? Where you at? Because I know I'm going to be standing 10th to you, so where are you at for me? Right? That's important to me. A lot of people don't have certain obligations or need to see certain things in order for them to say, this is the one. This is the one. Even down to when you're having a conversation with who you're dealing with, see how they listen, see how they react, see how they encourage, see if they're like pulling you away from what you really want to do. It's so many signs that be right in front of us that we really don't even look at, right? And then some people ruin their chances of getting married, right? And I say that because some people self-sabotage this whole situation, and then when they look around and they're like, dang, I really messed that one up. That was the one. But I already did so much damage, and because of what I already been through, that now he's not going to double back or she's not going to double back and deal with me now on that level. And you got to be vulnerable when you're dealing with people, right? That's when you really, and that's just real talk. That's when you really, really, really know that's the one. when you could be raw and vulnerable, and even though you put up resistance, but that person is breaking it down, right? Because then they know that it's not really personally against you as as an individual, but they know that it's because of your past, it's your traumas and stuff that you've been through. But they're willing to go ahead and break that down, figure it out, understand you on the levels that you need to be understood on, right? Because a lot of people just like, oh, she's a hard female. He's a emotionally unavailable male, right? It'd be so many things tied to that because you don't know the core of it. You don't know the story. You don't know the why behind why this person reacts emotionally like that, or don't show up at all emotionally, right? Or needs a sign or whatever they need, right? But as an individual, it's your job. If you feel like this person is really down for you, really, digging into who you are, it's your job to be vulnerable. It's your job to peel them layers back and allow that person aside so they can know how to deal with you the right way. But a lot of people still don't do that, right?
No.
Like you said, people could deal with people for years and you don't even know who you're dealing with, right? How sick is that to lay beside you every night and you don't know me? You don't know me. You don't really know who I am. You don't know where I've been. You don't know you don't know me. And to go around and tell people, I love you. I love this person to death.
No.
But do you know that person?
No. They don't know that. They don't know that individual. From 5 ways to Sunday, that this is what I mean when I go back to the bedroom. Because people think that sex it ties everything together. Even though that's the
icing on the cake.
That part.
Honestly.
So with that being said, a lot of people don't even know their motivation for being in a situation in the first place. They don't even know why they're in a situation. They don't even know their future. They don't even look and see like what are the things that they're looking for and need. Some people don't even know what they need, so how can they expect for somebody to give them something when they don't even know what they even need at the end of the day? And a lot of the times, it's really to really sit back and take a real look at everything and look at the end of the person and understand, it goes with understanding who you are at the end of the day, right? And really knowing what you want out of a relationship. And it's crazy because it's simple. It's really simple. That's the crazy thing about it. People motivation for getting married, certain people, and I'm not going to tie it to male or female, but a lot of people think, ooh, he got that money. You better dig your claws in him. You better dig your claws in him, girl.
Not the money.
And they think that just because this person got the financial stability that is going to hold weight, right, with the marriage.
What about the emotional?
And what are you bringing
the mental?
What are you bringing to the table that is going to be able to, tie all these things together? What are you bringing to the table? And a lot of the times people expect for people to bring all these things to the table and you haven't brought anything. You couldn't even bring a napkin to the table, let alone expect for somebody else to bring all these list of things. People are selfish too, and a lot of people don't know how to be selfless, and that's another thing. Like if you're going to be in something and you're really wholeheartedly in something with somebody, along with being vulnerable, you have to be selfless and being able to
every day. I love it.
Being able to have that outlet to go to when all else fails. You got somebody you could confide in, somebody that is non-judgmental. And a lot of the times, you how could you possibly be in something just to accommodate the view of other people or accommodate what other people think of you?
Well, that's because it's not authentic.
No, it's not. And people usually are able to really read in between the fine lines of what's going on here, right? So a lot of people tend to put on a facade, but it's really not working that facade for real. So a lot of people rather be miserable just to uphold a title that really isn't a title, and it's like, wait, or in hopes that you're going to get something, in hopes that you're going to get the ring, right?
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then okay, here go the baby, right? The baby came into play. You've been together for 10 years. Okay, and then you're still looking around for the ring. It's like when comes the times when you really analyze the whole relationship as a whole, right? Analyze yourself in the midst of all of this, right? And really look at the fine lines of everything and really identify what's working and what's not, and why you should be walking away and why you should not even be staying in something like that.
Yeah, because who would want, and this is the crazy thing, right? why would I? First of all, a husband is supposed to protect you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so many things that a husband brings, right? Why would I want to be your wife if you already disrespected?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because I gotta respect you as a man, right? So if you already disrespected me, you already, you know, I don't give a damn about embarrassment is a big thing too, but I'm not looking like, did they see what he did? Did they, you know what I mean? Some people sweep it under the rug because they don't want nobody to know what he did because they want to keep their picture,
their image
looking real good, right? But why would you want a ring from somebody that already been disrespectful to you as a woman, as the mother, even if you don't have kids, but if you do have kids, as the mother of their child? You know, it's so many things that could go on that list. I don't even want no ring from you, right? Like, because it taints for me. If somebody is handling me a certain kind of way or done wrong to me, it taints how I view you, right? If I loved you, the love stops, like immediately stops right there, right? Once you do me a certain way, because you know, I'm not going to handle it. If I got love for you, I'm not handling you any kind of way, right? So I wouldn't dare want a ring, and you know, and that comes with a lesson because nobody's perfect, right?
Mm-mm.
You learn things, you know, married, divorced, and you, you know, child, listen. Once you go through that, that's why learning from your experiences is extremely important. Extreme, because then you would say, "Dang, I made a mistake there. Next time I'm not going to do that." Or you know what I mean? Because it gives you, once you don't take it as a, oh, that was the worst. No, that was a blessing and a lesson. You learned the lesson in it, right? That way, when you go be with the person you're supposed to be with and marry the person you're supposed to marry, then you're on a whole another playing field, right? You have explored yourself in a way that you're like, "Dad, this is what I should have done, or this is what I need to do more of or less of," or however you want to do it. But honestly, why would I don't want nobody to marry me that has already damaged what we have going on. I'm good. You can keep it, right? Please keep the ring. And don't marry nobody just because they have your child. Don't marry nobody.
Sympathy.
Yeah, don't do none of that. It doesn't, because your happiness matters, right? That's male or female, like
absolutely,
being really unconditional, happy, like that. You can't put a price tag on that one.
That's just, you know, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy because a lot of people, and this is another thing with some people, and I can't say all, but I've seen people that don't even know the characteristics of what a marriage should be and the foundation of a list of things that a marriage should be, right? Because you have a lot of people that idolize surface things that they see as far as like famous people and different people, right? You're idolizing the wrong things. You're idolizing surface things. You don't really know the components that goes into really tackling a marriage and really standing strong and firm, because you got to start with, it takes a lot of work, and it also goes with having both parties involved, right? So it can't be a one-sided thing, right? So a lot of the times people are forcing, right? They're forcing things that should not be forced.
Absolutely.
Right? You're forcing a relationship. Then you force the relationship on top of the fact bringing a baby into play as well. So now you're forcing it. So with that being said, it's like you can't force something that's not working.
It don't fit.
It's not fitting. You're trying to put that puzzle piece in that spot that just don't fit. It doesn't go. So you got to really, you know, people just really will basically like lose themselves in trying to get married. Like you lose yourself in the process, right?
You know, real quick before you finish, people think that when you get married, it's like hitting a reset button in a relationship, right? No, it's resuming. Whatever has happened already is still going to happen. The marriage is not going to change. The dynamics of the relationship. Whatever's already in it, it's already in it, right?
It's already done. So that's why I also, when we talked about like the baby and the obligation and things, it all it does is intensify everything, right?
Stressor.
And it shows even more, like even down to certain situations when it comes into play. You're being shown these things time and time again. So the title without the, like, how are you, that's just like putting, I don't know, like you can't mix ingredients together without having it. Like, it's just crazy, like how people try to put all these things together and it's just not giving. It's not working. It's not going together. Like, how are you trying to bake a cake without the egg? Like, how are you trying to do these things? The foundation is not there. And some people really have a hard time just saying, I'm done. It has to, the ship has sailed. It has to go. The things that are going on is not working, you know. And it could be so many signs thrown out there that is crazy, but they just choose to ignore it.
Oh yeah.
I just don't understand.
And I don't even know if they're ignoring it. I think that they say, listen, I put in too much time and work in this individual, right? Nobody else is going to do it.
The next.
And it's like, honestly, yes, they probably have learned some things from you. But when it's all said and done, a person is going to act right with who they want to act right with, right? It don't matter. And that's why when that meme go around all the time, like, oh, he been with her 20 years and then he went over there and married her within a few months, right? It's like I said, when you know, you know. Ain't even no question about it. People just know what they want to do, who they want to be with, and they're going to really up the ante because they know you don't have to settle for anything, like literally nothing at the end of the day. But a lot of people do, and that's their personal choice. But you're paying for it on a daily basis if you settle. Take care of yourself first, right? Like, and when you don't take care of yourself, it shows up. It shows up as a mom, as a woman, in your job. You know what I mean? In your relationships, in your friendships. It just shows up. This is how neglectful you are of you at the end of the day, because it, again, everybody has a role. And that's in the marriage. Everybody has a role, and that's just what it is. And I know now things have changed. Where women are able to bring more to the table, and I mean financially, right? Not the things that's extremely important, because that's the core. That's the foundation of it all. I mean that now the stress is on a man is not as heavy as it once was back in the day when men were sole providers, and the moms and the wives were homemakers, right? So now there's like more balance. To me, I feel like it's more balanced because now it gives my husband more time to be home with his children and his wife, right? Versus being out all day working, sleeping like a dog, and then when he do come to do, he don't have enough time or energy for us because now all that man wants is a hot meal, a hot shower, in the bed. You know what I mean? So now you're not putting in that time with the children. You're not putting in that time with your wife because you're enslaved all day. You got to hurry up, eat, wash, and relax just a little before you close your eyes because you got to do it again tomorrow, right? And so it's like, no, I feel like, and a lot of people, and that's to each his own thing. Like, I like to get out and work and do my own thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like to contribute in the ways that I would like to contribute at the end of the day. Because, again, the things that's important to me, that time, that one-on-one connections, all that stuff is important to me. So, no, I don't need you slaving like a dog on people that is the, like, I'm not going to say those kind of things. But, yeah, I don't need you doing that kind of stuff. I need you to be present. I need you physically here. So let's do this together. and that's what works for us. Now, not to say that the husband ain't saying, look, babe, the mortgage and stuff is on me, these bills is on me, the miscellaneous bills, like little small utilities, that's you. Cool, however y'all want to work it. Whatever y'all come up with. That's why communication is important.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own things that work for their marriage, for their situation. But to get back to the original topic at hand, to me, to have to marry you because you're carrying my child, not cool. Not cool at all. Do I think that both parties is extremely accountable? Absolutely, because everybody makes the conscious decision who they lay down with, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I decided to lay down with you without any requirements, as far as beforehand, you know what? No, what does this look like? If we get pregnant, are you marrying me, or do you think that it's smarter for us to, be married first and then try to make a family? You know what I mean? That's why you gotta have certain standards and requirements when you're coming to situations, and don't back down off of them, right? Stand on it. Stand on it. There's something that you truly, truly, truly want. You have to stand in it, right? Because you got all day to have sex. You got all day to do all of that other stuff that makes up what a lot of people do just because, not even in a marriage, but just because. So if you're coming in immediately having like these real conversations, and no, I'm not saying on the first day of the date, you gonna marry me?
Now that's creepy the first day. No.
Absolutely, but if you're having a healthy communication, and the person that you're dating in that moment knows what your goals are. Listen, yes, I'm trying to be a wife soon, like not like tomorrow, but no, those are
that's
things
something
that
I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely, like you all got to be able to be on the same page, career wise. Like, what's your goals? What's my goals? Do we have something, a common interest that we're working towards right now, and still be able to be individuals in the meantime? Like, these are real conversations. What did your childhood look like? You got to be able to lay, because it really tells you who you're dealing with at the end of the day. Everybody don't want to be married, but majority of the people in this world do want to be married, right? And that's okay, right? It's okay to want to be married. It's okay to, want things that most people aren't willing to fight. But all that stuff takes a fight, takes work. You really got to be able to get down to your raw self, rip it all out, and really come and show up. There's no pride, there's no ego. You can't come with none of this stuff if you're really, really, really serious about wanting to be a wife or a husband at the end of the day. And no, and it's sad because no kids don't ask to be here, right? So there's a lot of broken homes, and there's a lot of people that are married that stand together for the wrong reasons, just for the kids. So it's more damage being done because they're feeling it on a daily basis. Whereas the most broken homes are able to, bounce back after the fact, like, oh well, at least, I'm used to the routine. It's just me and my mom and my siblings or whatever. But if you're constantly on a daily basis living in a household with your mom and dad that's married and it's dysfunction, you're going to eventually end up in your own dysfunctional relationship and marriage and things like that, because of course nobody really knows it's abnormal until somebody's normal steps in and let them know that
that ain't even cool.
You don't do that. That's not healthy or whatever. But again, it's just what I think. No, everybody needs to be accountable for their actions, and it's time to just, go for what you know and go for what you want. If you want to be a wife, if you feel like you're husband material, if you feel like, listen, be responsible and say, this is what our future looks like. If we have kids, then we're getting married, because I'm not going to raise my kids like that. Have those tough conversations, and you'll really see whether or not the person you're dealing with is on the same page as you, or even want you like that to begin with. So this is Nash signing off.
And signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.